For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Serpent cults have existed since ancient Egypt, later among the Gnostics. One of their branches was even called the Ophites, from the Greek ophis, snake. The supreme deity of the Pelasgians, Sabazios, was also depicted with 7 serpents around him. And we know that Sabazios and Dionysus are one and the same deity. He rules over both dead and living matter. The chthonic nature of Sabazios does not contradict his solar nature, because the two principles together form the cosmos, which is also universality. In the Hellenic era, serpents were given wings, emphasizing the cosmological aspect of this sacred symbol. Chinese dragons, in fact, are serpents adorned with wings. In Mesoamerica, an Aztec myth describes the creation of humanity by a feathered serpent god, Quetzalcoatl, who was assisted by a woman serpent, Cihuaco. In the ancient Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, thus present-day Mexico City, the sacred area around the temple was decorated with feathered serpent heads, and at the center the entrance to Quetzalcoatl's temple was guarded by the terrifying jaws of a giant serpent. This ancient serpent ornamentation dominates many sacred places, such as Teotihuacan in Mexico. The ancient Maya also worshipped the feathered serpent god, but his name was Kukulkan. Throughout all of Mesoamerica, the Aztecs, Maya, and Toltecs decorated their sacred places with serpent motifs, which can still be clearly seen today. In the eastern part of Mesoamerica, in Haiti, there are legends of serpents that originate from creation itself. The local population, Vado, believes in a god called Dambalawedo, whose image is a serpent. Dambalawedo is regarded as the great serpent, the creator of the universe, the sky, and the earth. According to a curious Voodoo custom about the flood, the dragon made the waters cover the earth. A rainbow appeared, and the dragon took it and named it after his wife, Ada Wado. In North America, serpents were also a main distinguishing feature of the native Indians. The symbol of the serpent dominates the art of the Hohokam Indian tribe in places such as the famous Snaketown in the state of Arizona, in the southwestern United States, dating from 400 BC to AD 200. Meanwhile, in the southeast, an unknown culture left behind a huge and mysterious mound in the shape of a serpent in Ohio. On the opposite end of the world, in the Far East, we again find deities connected with serpents. In Tibet, for example, serpents decorate the sacred trumpets of the monks. In Nepal, in a place called Buddhanilkantha, there is a mysterious statue known as the Sleeping Vishnu, lying on a bed of serpents in a water reservoir. We should not overlook Iraq, the cradle of civilization. Just north of Mosul, near the town of Sheikh Adi, is the sanctuary of the Yazidis, where the symbol of the serpent is proudly exalted on the main gate. This region is an important pilgrimage site for thousands of nomadic Yazidis. In the eyes of Westerners, they appear to be people who worship Satan, but this tribe regards the serpent as the most powerful force in the world, a distributor of both good and sin. In Australia, the Aborigines have carefully preserved legends of the serpent in their so-called dreamings, myths about the creation of the earth. In the central region of Australia, ancient drawings of the rainbow serpent can be found, which created rivers, mountains, and people during its legendary journey southward from the northern coast. The numerous examples cited above can hardly be considered examples of worship of Satan. If the serpent were satanic, then theologians would probably have to explain why the serpent is still a symbol of medicine and healing to this day. Ancient statues often depict the god Asclepius holding a staff around which a sacred serpent is coiled. But the association of the serpent with healing is a very ancient belief, and it is worth noting that even today the symbol of the healer's profession is a serpent wrapped around a staff. Although it is connected with supernatural healing rather than rational medicine, the traces lead to the Greek god Hermes, who is identified with the Egyptian god Thoth. The caduceus is the emblem of ancient Hermes, who, according to Herodotus, was a deity of the Thracian kings. In Egyptian mythology, the Thracian Hermes is known as Thoth, Tit to Hudit. Moreover, before settling in Egypt, according to Apuleius, Hermes Tit resided in the Balkans. The place where he resided was known as Pelasgian Argos. The caduceus is most often depicted as a rod around which two serpents are entwined in opposite directions. At the top of the rod there is usually a small spherical enlargement, a ball. At the same place there is sometimes a cross or outspread wings. Sometimes the rod is omitted, and then only the two serpents remain. This is how it is depicted on Thraco-Pelasgian coins. And yet that god learned everything from his father, Enki, the god who directed the genetic creation of humanity. Is it possible that all these legends arose independently, or do they have a common source among the gods of Enki in Africa? In ancient Egypt, for example, there is no doubt that among the many animals depicted in their art, the serpent was the most sacred and foretold prosperity. Usually, two serpents are depicted carrying the royal crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt, respectively. The pharaohs are also often shown with serpents on their foreheads. And the greatest sanctuary, the winged disk of Nibiru, was usually depicted framed by two serpents. In the hostile land of Cush, southern Egypt, the serpent was no less revered. Kushite and Meroitic kings and queens were depicted wearing crowns with the royal emblem of the cobra. The symbol of the winged serpent is a typical feature of local pottery. The serpent is an emblem of the wisdom of matter. It reflects infinite movement and development, renewal and rebirth into a new quality. When the serpent's head is directed upward, it signifies ascending energies and the striving for knowledge. And a serpent looking downward symbolizes both carnal and spiritual temptation. If a person abstracts himself from his atavistic disgust toward this creature, If he approaches it with even the smallest dose of affection, he will convince himself that snakes, purely from a biological standpoint, are truly intelligent animals. They do not bite unless provoked, just like any other representative of the animal kingdom. If one looks at the DNA spiral, there too the two serpents can be found intertwined with each other.